Most people think getting rich requires a high salary or perfect investments. But Morgan Housel discovered something completely different. The secret to wealth is not what you earn, it is what you keep and how long you keep it. And if you do what I am about to share with you every single day, staying poor becomes almost impossible. Morgan Housel wrote The Psychology of Money, and it became one of the most influential finance books ever written. But here is what makes him different from every other money expert. He does not focus on hot stocks or get-rich-quick schemes. He focuses on human behavior. Because the truth is, building wealth is not about being smart with numbers. It is about being smart with yourself. In this video, you are going to learn his most powerful daily habits that separate the wealthy from everyone else. These are not theories. These are real principles backed by decades of research and real-life examples. And if you apply even one of these today, your financial life will never be the same. Morgan Housel teaches that wealth is what you do not see. Most people confuse being rich with being wealthy, but they are completely different things. Being rich means you have a high income, you drive a nice car, you wear expensive clothes, you post fancy vacations on Instagram. But being wealthy means something deeper. It means you have money saved, money invested, money working for you in the background. Housel tells the story of a janitor named Ronald Reed who died with $8 million in the bank. Nobody knew he was wealthy because he lived below his means his entire life. He drove an old car. He wore simple clothes. He never showed off. But he quietly invested in dividend stocks for decades and compounded his wealth in silence. Then Housel contrasts this with countless celebrities and athletes who earned hundreds of millions but ended up bankrupt. Why? Because they confused being rich with being wealthy. They spent everything they earned trying to look rich instead of building real wealth. The lesson here is simple. Wealth is invisible. It is the money you did not spend. It is the car you did not buy. It is the vacation you delayed. It is the watch that stayed in the store. So here is your daily practice. Every single day, ask yourself one question. Am I spending this money to build wealth or to look wealthy? If the answer is to look wealthy, do not buy it. Redirect that money into investments, into savings, into assets that will compound over time. This one habit alone will change everything. Housel discovered that time in the market beats timing the market every single time. Most people want to get rich quickly. They chase hot stocks. They try to time the perfect entry. They jump from one investment to another hoping to strike gold. But Housel studied the data and found something shocking. The secret to investment success is not picking winners. It is staying in the game long enough for compounding to work its magic. He gives the example of Warren Buffett. Everyone talks about how smart Buffett is, but Housel points out that Buffett's real edge is not his IQ. It is that he started investing at age 10 and never stopped. 84.5% of his wealth was built after his 50th birthday. That is the power of time. Compounding is not impressive in year 1 or year 5. It is explosive in year 20, 30, and 40. But here's the problem. Most people quit too early. They invest for 2 years, see small returns, and give up. They never give compounding enough time to work. So here is what you need to do every single day. Stay consistent. Invest something. Even if it is just $10. Even if the market is down. Even if everyone is panicking. Your job is not to be smart. Your job is to be consistent and patient. Housel says the most important investment skill is not intelligence, it is temperament. Can you stay calm when everyone is panicking? Can you keep investing when it feels scary? Can you resist selling when the market drops? If you can do that every single day, wealth is inevitable. Time does the heavy lifting. You just have to show up. Morgan Housel teaches that room for error is the most underrated financial concept. Here is where most people fail. They create perfect plans with zero margin for mistakes. They budget every dollar. They calculate returns to the penny. They assume everything will go perfectly. But life does not work that way. Housel says the most important part of any financial plan is the part that accounts for when you are wrong. Because you will be wrong. Markets crash, jobs get lost, health issues happen, unexpected expenses pop up, and if your plan has no room for error, one mistake wipes you out. He tells the story of investors who use leverage to maximize returns during good times. On paper, their math was perfect, but when the market dropped, they lost everything because they had no buffer. Compare that to investors who kept 20% of their portfolio in cash. They might have earned less during good times, but they survived the bad times. And survival is what leads to long-term wealth. So here is your daily practice. Build buffers into everything. Save more than you think you need. Invest less than you can afford to lose. Keep emergency funds even when it feels unnecessary. Pay off debt faster than required. The goal is not to maximize returns. The goal is to never get knocked out of the game. Because in investing, survival equals success. Housel says people who survive long enough always end up wealthy. But people who optimize for maximum returns often end up broke. So every single day, ask yourself, does my financial plan give me room to be wrong? If the answer is no, adjust immediately. Housel discovered that controlling your time is the highest dividend money pays. Most people chase money for the wrong reasons. They want bigger houses, nicer cars, expensive vacations. But Housel studied what actually makes people happy and found something surprising. The highest form of wealth is not stuff. It is control over your time. Being able to wake up and decide what to do with your day. Not having to answer to a boss, not being forced to work a job you hate, not sacrificing time with family for a paycheck. That freedom is priceless. He tells stories of people who earned millions but were miserable because they had no control over their schedule. They were slaves to their businesses, to their clients, to their obligations. Compare that to people earning modest incomes who structured their lives around freedom. They might not have luxury cars, but they have time to spend with kids, time to pursue hobbies, time to rest. And research shows that control over time is the single biggest predictor of happiness. So here's what you need to do every single day. Make financial decisions that buy you more time, not less. Before taking any job or opportunity, ask yourself, will this give me more control over my time or less? If it gives you less control, the money is not worth it. Start building income streams that do not require your constant presence. Invest in assets that generate passive income. Create systems that work without you. The goal is not to retire early. The goal is to design a life where work feels optional, not mandatory. Housel says the ultimate form of wealth is waking up every morning and saying, I can do whatever I want today. That is what you are working toward every single day. Morgan Housel teaches that wealth is built with discipline during boring times. Everyone wants to know the secret to getting rich. And when Housel tells them, they are always disappointed. Because the answer is boring. Save consistently, invest regularly, avoid stupid mistakes, wait decades. That is it. There is no hack, no shortcut, no secret strategy, just disciplined behavior repeated over long periods of time. But here is the problem. Boring does not sell. People want excitement. They want drama. They want the thrill of hitting it big overnight. So they chase meme stocks, cryptocurrency pumps, and get-rich-quick schemes. And most of them lose money. Housel points out that all the great investors have one thing in common. They are boring. They buy index funds. They hold for decades. They ignore noise. They do not trade. They do not panic. They just keep doing the simple thing over and over again. And over time, that boring behavior compounds into extraordinary wealth. So here is your daily practice. Embrace the boredom, set up automatic investments, let them run. Do not check your portfolio every day. Do not try to outsmart the market. Do not chase trends. Just be boringly consistent. Every single day, do the simple thing. Save a little, invest a little, avoid debt, live below your means. Nothing exciting, nothing glamorous, just disciplined, boring, repetitive actions. Because here is what Housel knows. Wealth is not built during exciting times. It is built during boring times, when nobody is watching and nothing dramatic is happening. The people who get rich are not the ones making headlines. They are the ones quietly doing the boring work every single day for decades. Housel discovered that risk and reward are not what most people think. Everyone talks about taking risks to get rich, and that is partially true. But Housel dug deeper and found something critical. The biggest risk is not taking too much risk. The biggest risk is taking risks you do not understand. He gives the example of people who invested in things they did not understand because everyone else was doing it. Dot-com stocks in 2000, real estate in 2008, crypto in recent years. They took risks without understanding the downside. And when things collapsed, they lost everything. Compare that to people who took calculated risks. They invested in things they understood. They knew the worst case scenario. They had plans for when things went wrong. And even when they lost money, they survived because the loss did not destroy them. So here is what you need to do every single day. Only take risks you fully understand. Before investing in anything, ask yourself, do I understand how this works? Do I know what could go wrong? Can I survive if I lose this money? If you cannot answer yes to all three, do not invest. This does not mean avoid all risk. It means avoid blind risk. Invest in index funds if you understand diversification. Buy real estate if you understand property markets. Start a business if you understand the industry, but never invest in something just because someone else is making money from it. Housel says the goal is not to take big risks. The goal is to survive long enough for compounding to make you wealthy. And survival requires understanding your risks completely. Morgan Housel teaches that being reasonable beats being rational. Most people think building wealth requires being perfectly rational, making optimal decisions, maximizing every dollar. But Housel discovered that being reasonable is far more important than being rational. Here is what that means. A rational person might calculate that renting is cheaper than buying a house in certain markets. And mathematically, they would be right. But a reasonable person understands that owning a home provides emotional security, stability for kids, and peace of mind that is worth more than the math. A rational person might say you should invest 100% in stocks because historically they have the highest returns. But a reasonable person knows that if a market crash would make you panic and sell everything, a mix of stocks and bonds is better, even if it is not optimal. The point is this: financial decisions are not just about numbers. They're about emotions, psychology, and what helps you sleep at night. Housel says the best financial plan is one you can actually stick to, not the one that looks best on paper. So here is your daily practice. Make decisions that feel sustainable, not optimal. If you cannot handle the stress of 100% stocks, add bonds. If budgeting every penny drives you crazy, automate savings instead. If buying coffee makes your morning better, keep buying coffee and cut something else. The goal is building a financial life that you can maintain for decades without burning out or giving up, because consistency beats perfection every single time. So there you have it, Morgan Housel's daily principles that make staying poor almost impossible. Build invisible wealth by not spending to impress others. Stay invested long enough for compounding to explode. Always leave room for error in every plan. Use money to buy control over your time. Embrace boring consistency over exciting gambles. Only take risks you completely understand. And be reasonable instead of chasing perfect rationality. These are not get-rich-quick tricks. They are get-rich-certain principles. And here is the truth. Most people watching this will do nothing. They will feel motivated for 5 minutes, then go back to old habits. But a few of you will take action today. You will start saving more, investing consistently, building buffers, and in 10, 20, 30 years, your life will be completely different. So, here's what I need you to do right now. Comment below and tell me which principle hits you hardest. Drop a number from 1 to 7 and tell me which one you are committing to today. Smash that like button if this video changed how you see wealth. Subscribe because I am breaking down more life-changing financial wisdom in every video. And share this with someone who needs to hear Morgan Housel's message. Because real wealth is not about luck or genius. It is about behavior, patience, and doing simple things consistently for a very long time. The question is, will you start today? See you in the next one.